So, hey
Hello,
up, what's up? Welcome back to the another session on DevOps series. And today we are going to learn more about Azure DevOps and specifically on Repos and Pipeline Part 1. Part 1. And I hope it's going to be a nice and learned session from our expert speaker, Mr. Vishwas Narayan. Over to you, sir.
thank you so much, man. Varun. Like to me, yesterday what I explained was just the gist of the DevOps. Like end-to-end DevOps is so huge. Like if you think of like what's going to happen at the next move or the next meeting in your organization, probably it's going to change a lot. So So we'll go ahead. Of course, we all knew how to create that repository and the things like that, but we'll go ahead with an advanced approaches, and over a course of time, there is going to be a lot of changes which we will be seeing and we'll be addressing. So let's just go ahead. So right now, I just created a new organization, a blank organization, and I'm creating a new project. So it's Vishwas Narayan new project something, and it's in a private mode. Don't worry, you can keep it in the public mode as I told you guys yesterday. So you guys can see that, right? There are different queries. Until queries, we add an explanation. Very good. Like I told you, delivery plans is going to be very very challenging, and it's going to be like you making a decision for a very big market, and everything is going to be taken place here. So let's just touch upon it, and then we'll go on. Why is there a requirement for getting to know how much of a builds happened? What are all those protocols and everything? So let's say I'm writing it as Vishwas, and I'm creating a lot of projects. Yes, say set of backlogs Vishwas and something, and I'll say issues. And okay, let's say there is a field criterion, and it's if it's an activity, I'm just going to do it. Also, if it's not, I'll just delete it off because I don't have to do much of an uh, entire end-to-end analogy that we are just going ahead. So what I do is I just create it, and there you have it. It's saying today, and right now, it's pretty much clear that there is going to be a new set of teams which is going to be added. There are going to be teams which are going to work in terms of epics issues and things like that, and of course there is field criterion which can also be taken care. So you can go ahead and mark this. You can add another criterion saying that what should be the symbol for that as well. So it's done and done. So you can save that, as well as you can add a new marker saying that what should be the label for it. So new customer meet, something like this, and you can choose different set of colors here. So different set of colors have their own identity for all the dates that are given in this column, and you can really go ahead and check out any of the colors which are given in this box. So I'll go ahead and I'll check this, and meanwhile if you have any questions, put it down in the comment section here. We'll be approaching them, so don't worry about that. So this marker is going to be like the thing which just says that, hey, deadlines are coming up very early, so what do you guys want to do? And of course the fields also have a different analogies that you can see upon, and you can see this, like what are all these? They're just saying what's the ID of it, what's the state of that entire task, who has been tagged, whether is it in the GitHub or else is it in the Azure repos, where is it going ahead, who are the parents, what are the tasks that has been considered, show the fields where they are empty, and there is a roll up data which is also considered. What's a roll up data? It's very simple. So yes, data is here. So you guys can see what's a roll up data. It's a data given that has been summarized. Like something like, we have 100 builds done, only 20% of them passed. Ka matlab, there are 20 builds which happened in that entire project, which was successful, and the 80 were rejected. And 2080, probably that is what the ratio that you'll be having. That is where we are calling in terms of the roll up data as well. So of course there are plenty of challenges that you face and everything. And of course you can go agile, new practice and everything. You can just start naming them. The annotations are free for you, accepted by all these dates, by me or anybody. Like you can really give that styling annotation here. And if you can save it, just look at the magic of it. So there is a new annotation done. So you can say that a new customer meet today it's happening. That's okay. So let's just say I just want to new add a new marker here, saying that 24 there is a new meet, new customer meet, and let's say meet with the front end team, team, and save it. Look at the magic. The same color was being annotated and now it got changed, right? And now I can bring out a new color and say that, hey, this is a marker and this is going to be the new color for it. And let's just save it, and boom, you just have that. And naming annotations have their own entity here. So if I say markers here and I say meet one and I say pink, there is going to be a new marker which is going to be added. So all these things will come into the picture. And this is where your Azure Repos comes into the picture and makes the biggest impact on your entire repository structure. So you can go ahead, grab any one of the repositories and you can start working towards it. So let me just do this and this and this and this. So you can import it. I just refresh this phase. See the magic? It's still taking place and it will just come back to you right now. And all the things related to your builds really happened out so quick. And there are new challenges every given point of time, right? So, I just set it as a private repository and a private project right now, and nobody is able to access it. Let's say I go for the project settings, which is there here, and I click on this, and now you have all the settings that is given for you right now, and you have access for all these things, right? I can delete the projects, I can select who joins the team, and a new team can be added, and everything can be done. So there are different permissions which are always given. So there are different contributions, readers, project valid users, readers, and a new team which can also be created. So these are some of the methodologies in which a team can be grouped and the users can be allocated. So you guys can create a new user as well. So I have a new user and I can give him an access, like what are the things that he can get an access to. Notifications, of course, there are different things. Service hooks, there are different ways that you can access it. So you guys can go check that out. If you think of repositories, of course, in this entire project, there is only one repository that is taken care here. So that's it. And all the things related to your service connections, what are all the service connections required? And like, see, you need not have to do entire thing on an Azure DevOps board. Jira can be integrated. And there are different versions of NPM, Service Fabric, SSH, everything is being taken care here. So there are ways in which you can get the service connection and the service hooks up and running. So you can just go ahead, create a subscription. Of course, there are different office subscriptions that you can add. Everything can be taken care of step by step from here. A lot of things can be done using Azure DevOps. It's not just an DevOps tool, it's an end-to-end solution for your projects. And you can go to the settings here and look at the magic of it. You can allow them to publish the metadata and everything. So to me, what really matters to me is this project configurations. And you can see that there is a sprint which is up and running here. So you can set the dates. You can set the start date today and the end date is tomorrow, and you can close it. And in your boards, in the sprint section, there is nothing allocated here, but in the sprint section here, there will always be an allocation which will be happening. So this sprint will also be taken and the new child can be added. So let's say 23 and 24, a new child, an iteration name can be added, a new sprint can be created. Everything can be taken end to end here. And repositories are your dashboards, overviews, permissions are also there. You can go ahead and check that out. Dashboards are here, create dashboards, edit dashboards, delete dashboards. In the private project you can't do that, but here you can do that. So team configuration, you can give a notification to the teams. I think lot of things, man. Lot of things about your Azure DevOps. Completely, this is an end-to-end solution for all of their things. And test management, releases, service connections, repository, storage, retention. A lot of things can be taken care here. So you can go to an overview. You can do all different. Add administrator. I can add anybody with an email address. So you can do that as well. I think there's a lot to just say in this entire repository of the general boards, pipelines, and everything which is considered here. So wait, let's go to the dashboards. There's always that permissions, notifications were always taken, all the builds, manual intervention, everything. Permissions were not taken. All right, teams were also taken. And where is the project thing? Project has its own settings. Man, this is so cool. Like everything end to end you can do. So very simple. You guys can go and check this entire repository. It's there on my GitHub. Just go and just take that, and you can see what are the different commits which really happened. Like you can see that hey, he moved from here to there directly, and all the things related to all the repositories have been taken care here. So this is a kind of a pattern that everybody looks at and takes care of, and all the things which is very related to your entire repositories were taken care here. So I think this is the perfect example for an end-to-end DevOps that was considered using a repository. How you can go and do that? You can really clone this repository. I can generate the git credentials. You can clone this using this, or else clone it in VS Code. It can be cloned in the VS Code as well, so that can be done. So a lot of changes in the repository itself. So let me just create a public project and show you how to do that. So I can go here, I can create a new project saying it I need a public one, and security policies, and the policies were here. Everything were taken care here, and securities, everything I just made it a public one. And now if I go back here, and I can see in this project I have allowed everything to go public. So which was, and there are a little bit of description you can add, or else you don't have to. And there is an advanced session. So of course default it will be Git, and the basic project will always be created. If I choose agile, I can go for the agile ones. And of course this project will be created here, and you guys can add this entire repository by doing all these git init, git add, git publish, and everything. So you will be sorted for the next time. So let's see, a new demo was added from my side, and I do the command prompt here, and I do git, everything has been sorted, and there was a new repository, and I'll be doing this. So one rejected, main branch is already there. Git add minus u, git master, and I just do this and see the magic of it. Remote resolving deltas one. All right, branch master, new branch master, and let's just go ahead and just do that. Or else, very simple, you can just import that as well. So I just had an old repository. Probably I can import that here as well. So that's not a problem. I can import this and see the magic. I don't do much here, and everything git clone, everything got sorted here. Everything got sorted, and you guys can check this out. And the commits of this will be always taken from the GitHub itself. So basically, what it's doing is as soon as you type in this word called as git init, there is an initialization of all the repositories, secrets, and everything, which will be done through this entire thing. And everything is taken care here. So that's an hash file that we are considering, and we are taking care about, and all the things are being sorted here. Like Azure pipelines were considered, and all the things were taken care, right? So let's do one thing. Let's just build this entire thing. So build this entire pipeline, and let's just run it and see whether this takes a run. Of course, the authentication didn't happen. That's not a problem. So we can build a new pipeline. It's a simple thing. There are four options which are already available for you: connect, select, configure, and review. So you can click any of the GitHub repository and you can just build that Docker file and see the magic of it. So build, source directory, and everything will be considered. And if I save the run and look at the magic. So it's already took for a circle CI build. That's also there. So I'll say main one here. I don't want it to go for a circle CI build. Project setup main. All right. Oh, this got done to this. So that's also fine. We can go ahead and we can just think of all these kind of repositories, how they are getting built and everything. So git pushes, how many pushes happen. So I tried pushing it and I didn't achieve anything from that. There were considerations that have been done, and all the other things with all these kinds of applications were considered. I think recent one was this that I upload that I tried updating, and everything got done here. And different branches of all these repositories were considered. So basically, as soon as you do this git init, all the information will go and sit on the GitHub repository, and everything will be sorted. So tags, all the different versions that I did for this repository, it's already being considered here as well. So you can see that the latest tag is v1.2.59, 1.2.59 pull requests. If there are any new pull requests that are coming up from the GitHub, of course it will be taken care. But this is a Circle CI build and the YAML files, so nobody gives a damn about it. Don't worry about that. So pipelines didn't run. That's okay. That's not a problem. This is how you learn DevOps as well. So simple as that. Let's just start from one repository and we'll go ahead and start with the YAML files that have been built on it. So this is an simple repository that I considered. You guys can go check this repository here. I think Lakshit came in. Lakshit, how are you? So I think people have been messaging here. So this is one of the static repositories that are always there, and you guys can go check that out. So over a course of time, there is a lot of changes that could have had happened, and this is where we just did an build for the static websites. That's it, simple as that. What I just did was a simple move. I just have a trigger for the main. Yes, I'm saying that pools are nothing but a VM image which is going to run all these commands that I'm running right now. And all these are checkouts are self, submodules are true. It can be added as a submodule. Yes. And now just look at the magic of all the things that I'm just touching here right now. So I just go and create a new one. Let me just show you how it's also done as well. So I say a new repository and a new thing. I just create another repository status here, and I go and check out on any one of them. So let me just show you what is that file structure that I've considered here. So what you consider here, the app location, the API location, and all the things are being considered very jubilantly here based on the information that I was able to get from the Kubernetes as well. So Tokyo, Dataton, everything. So let's say I say custom. This is a custom thing, so it's very simple. So for all these static application, there is a requirement to say where is this application going and sitting. And I said it's the complete repository which has an index.html. So just go ahead and grab that thing. And API location, you can keep it API, or else you can delete this off. Output locations also you can delete this off, which says that where is the artifactory going and sitting, and everything will be considered. And in a similar fashion, I'll show you one of the other Blazor application as well, and see the magic of it. In a Blazor application, this is where the location of the entire app location will be. The output location will be in www root, and the API location will be in the API. I'll show you that repository as well, but keep this in your mind. So if you keep this in your mind, everything is sorted. So what I did was, in this entire repository, I just went ahead, I just created this, I just created a repository which I needed. Where did I get the deployment key? It's very simple, very simple. You need not have to do much of a work here. You just need to just go ahead and grab all these information. So I think probably there's a GitHub Actions which is getting built on that application. So let's see. All right. This is already being created. And where did I grab the deployment is this. Manage deployment tokens. I took it from here and I just grabbed it and I put it. So I just copied it, put it in the form of an for a form of a variable like this here. So it's very simple. We can also do this as well. So you guys can go and create a new pipeline. In a new pipeline, you will have all the repositories which have been structured here. So there is a tab which says variable, and you can create any amount of it. Any amount of secrets can be created. Just say new secret, and there is a value which you give. And if you want to keep this value a secret, it will be kept as a secret. Let the users from this value override this value when they are running the pipeline. Yes, that can also be done, but if it is required for our thing, and if you can grab this, and if you can see what was this, the name of this, it is this. So this is how you name a secret in your entire repository. And what I did was simple. I just went out and I did the same thing here. So if I do any of the changes on my repository, it will get triggered. So it's just in the static website. And I just say I just add a space here. I can commit that as well. So I can commit that saying that updated this, committing it, and look at the magic. It started running. So it started running with a new application. New applications were being considered, and everything was taken care of here. So it is a Linux workload. As said, it is going to give a agent pool, which is Linux, the latest version of it, and it's now building. And where was that token that I considered? Very simple. It's in the static website, and I go to the Vishwas, and I take this. This is the code that you see there, and this will be it. So you can click on to that. You can go ahead and you can get all these things. I think projects have podcast is this thing. This is my channel where I do a lot of podcasts. You guys can go check that as well. So everything has been sorted here. So right now, just make that little move, everything will be considered. So the pull is always getting completed, and if I do a new change will also be affected here. That's not a problem. And in a similar way, I did the same repository here as well. So if you think of this, this is an repository which contains your I think this is the new one. So this is for the pipelines, which does a lot of all the things. So I think I can go here and I can grab this edit pipelines. So this is for the just a build on your entire repository that I did, and everything was considered here, and everything was being taken care already from the GitHub pipelines. Sorry, from the Azure DevOps pipelines itself. So I think there was a new build which I did. I think this is a repository for your 123 itself. So I don't want that. Where is the other one? So .NET. Yes. So the .NET app is here. So what I did is I just grabbed that entire artifact which I had generated, and I'm just throwing it out here. So I told you, right, in your Blazor application, this will be the locations of the application that you will be considering. And here you go, people. You just had an entire repository built for yourself. And you can just go ahead, click on this, click on this, and of course finalize jobs, reports have been taken care, and go to the link, static web apps were considered, and all the things that was being considered here have been taken care. So it's a same old application which is there in my repository as well, so you guys can go check that out. It's a very simple move. It's a similar step that I had taken care about in the pipeline building process, and it was now considered. And you can see that I can go to the edit pipelines and look at the magic of this. I just had to do the same little bit of tweaks here and there, and everything was sorted for me right now. So I can run it again. I can run this again, and you can see that there's a new run which happened. Even though that I didn't do any changes, I wanted to run it again. I'm running it again. That's it. Like it will be a new build altogether. So you can see that now they're initializing the job, and there is a parallel job which is set for running up right now, and everything is being sorted. So it's succeeded. Yes, and also there are different ways to download everything, and you can go ahead with that. So if you think of all these pipelines, you can see all the matrices status badge. You can take this and put it in your GitHub repository as well, so it will start working and it will say, hey, if it worked, it worked. If it didn't, it didn't work. So let's just go ahead and grab that and see whether this was taken care. So static. If I can go to the readme.md, create a new file, and I say readme.md, and I do this, look at the magic of that. It says that Azure Pipelines succeeded and everything was sorted. So pipeline badges also can be added, and everything will be taken care end to end from your DevOps processes itself. So pretty solid thing. You need not have to do much here. You just can go out and check out all this. So there are status bragger trigger issues can also be taken care here. So if there was some trigger issue, if we didn't have any sort of setups done and everything, so you can do a cron job setup. You can schedule the runs at every given point of time. So let's say I just want to do sync schedules and everything. I have to just write it as a cron job, and everything will be sorted. So that's where your pipelines comes into the picture. The GitHub repositories still have the same old functionality of and the working of an old thing, so you guys can check that out. And lately, I've realized one thing that whatever you do, wherever you go, if you don't know where your entire code sits, that's going to be a biggest challenge. And over a course of time, repository is also considered as a huge thing. So this is one of the repositories which says how can we go and create an artifact without touching on any of the things. So it's just an attempt that I just did in order to create an artifact here. So these are the two Python repositories that we have right now, and you can look at it that everything considered here is so nice. And new one is that one, I think. So this was the pipelines. I think this was just the Azure pipeline build which took on building the images and everything. So it's a similar thing. I just used the Docker image and everything was sorted there. All right. So new one has always been considered. So 2345. Is this the repository? I'm very sorry, folks. I just lost some of the repositories. Don't know why. Which was that? There was new one, new static, new .NET demo 2345. I think this is the one. No, this was the blank one. I forgot where is the other one. It was a Python repository itself. So it's a Python wheel package that was being considered. Yep, this is the one. This is the one. Oh, sorry. It was there in different packages. So you can see that, right? Even in the repositories, you can add multiple of it. You can import many of it, and you can manage them as well. So if you click on the manage repositories, you can just go delete this, add it, rename it, do whatever you want with it. So you can import a new repository or just add a new repository. You can do that. So these are the two repositories which contains different ways of deploying your entire code. So your entire code can be deployed in two ways. For your Python wheel files, you can deploy it using this kind of an approach where you're having one packages and you're just saying that, or else create a new folder structure and you can have this as well. So I just did the two ways, so you guys can go check that out as well. So I'll show you how to do the Python repositories. It's the same old Python builds that happened here, and you'll be amazed by the way in which this started working. And pretty much this is the artifactory that we just collected. So in the dest folder, there are target.fs, and there will be wheel files that will be generated. So there are setup files that just got created, example packages, links, everything got connected. Man, to be very frank, such a beautiful way of arranging your artifactory. You can annotate them, you can keep them as it is, and things like that. Everything is an end-to-end solution here, and you can do different tests as well. So you need not have to do one test which is just going to fail or pass. Just do all the tests which are going to be awesome. So this was a 3.6 repository, this was a 3.7 repository, and the same old way of calling all the functions. I don't think so there is a change in the builds that we did. You can go and edit the pipelines as well, so I can show you them as well. So we did the same old builds. We just said, okay, there is a container that is going to take place in storing all these repositories. So very simple. So we took the trigger for the master branch, and now we just had the matrix build. You can put in as many versions of Python as you want, but there is going to be new steps that you can consider. And there are new ways to interpret all these things. And there are new ways to install all the scripts. So key ring artifacts, key ring, everything was there. If you just want to add something, you can still add it. That's also available. So there's setup.py, sdist. I said this is where you are basically creating the artifactory, and now you are storing the artifactory using this command here. So this is the command which says you just store the artifactory, and you're seeing the path for it. That is in the pipeline itself. And don't make this to go here. If you make it go there, that's going to be a little challenging, because a lot of dist folder was also created. So dist was already created, and this was already added to it. So there are new feeds that you can connect. So if you can go ahead, connect different versions of it as well. So you can do that. So right now, this is how you build all the things, and everything will be sorted for you folks. And perfect. I think this is the end of the stream, folks. I just made a simple attempt to just give you a quick intro of it within some point of time. Don't worry about it. There's a huge thing which is coming up tomorrow. Like, I just want you guys to just take the hint of all these projects and everything that are coming up here, so that you will have that knowledge of, like, hey, this was how pipelines are getting built. And to be very frank, I referred the documentation, Azure DevOps documentation. You guys can go check this out as well. So this is going to be the end of the stream. So tomorrow it's going to be an advanced version of it, where we are just going ahead and just seeing how to deploy it. So thank you so much, folks. Let's just see you tomorrow. We'll go ahead with some more GitHub actions and all these demos that we really planned for. And thank you so much. And also, if you really want to have any other things that you really wanted to ask, reach out to me on LinkedIn. And this is my LinkedIn. So this is my LinkedIn. So you guys can check this out. And a lot of things can be taken care here, because when you come back to me and ask me any of the questions, more than you, I'll be happy, because I'll be learning a lot. So you guys can go check that out as well. And I think this is the end of the stream. We can go ahead with any questions on the repositories and everything. It is still going to be the same old Git. Don't worry. If I explain Git, it's going to be another hour, and it's a waste of time for you folks. I was not. I wouldn't have had been much more energetic in explaining about the pipelines and everything here as well. So I think what we did was great, and tomorrow we'll take it in the next step. We'll take a next step of all these explanation, and that's it, folks.
Thank you, sir, for once again for coming here and delivering your precious knowledge to all our attendees and spending your time with the community. We
Yeah,
really
sure.
appreciate your efforts for the community. Thank you, everyone, for
Thank you,
joining us.
bro.
Thank you, Vishwas, sir, please,
I
for
think
coming.
I've shared some links. I think you can
Yeah,
share that as well,
I have
so
shared
people
them
can.
in chat. And guys, if you have any kind of queries, you can directly connect with the mentor on the LinkedIn, or else you can connect with the Discord channel of Azure Developer Community, and will surely help you out with any of the thing regarding Microsoft Azure DevOps, anything. Feel free to ask any kind of queries. Thank you everyone for being lovely and supporting us. Thank you.
Thank you.